Hey guys, what's going on? It's RC Knockout and I am back with another video. Now if you guys are new to the channel, my name is Nolan. In today's video, I am actually correcting a mistake that I made in a previous video. So let me explain. I actually had a viewer call me out in the comments of one of my previous videos that I just posted just a few days ago. His name is Tim. I don't remember what his last name is, but it's Tim something. So anyway, Tim, you know who you are, so thank you for calling me out on that. I appreciate that. I thought he meant something completely different when I first read his first message. But basically, what Tim pointed out to me was that in the video where I was reshimming my differential, this rear diff, I put the wrong size shims behind the bearing. So I put the 13 by 16, I believe, shims behind the bearing. Now the issue is, he pointed out, since I have them stacked 6 in a row, that's going to put force up against the shield of the bearing when you want all of the pressure up against either the outer or the inner race of the bearing. So that made a lot more sense. I did not think about that. So right now, there's probably a lot of pressure being put up against the shield of the bearing that is then, you know, pushing up against the balls of the bearing inside, is what I assume could be happening. Now, as of filming this video, I've actually already run the thing once. So once we get in there, we're going to actually have to see, did I do any damage or is the bearing still fine? But that's what I'm going to do today, guys. So I thought this was worth making a video because I don't want people to make the same mistake as me. I want to do it the right way. So that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to dig into this rear diff and we're going to get it replaced. I have an assortment of shims. The weird thing is, those 13 by 16s were the ones provided by Arrma to shim the diff, but I think they're just to shim the side-to-side movement of the actual differential, not for behind the pinion gear, which was my issue. So let's go ahead and jump right in this video. Alright guys, so jumping right into this video, I have to get the rear differential cover off. So what I have to do is, I need to get these 4 screws. There's one here, 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 and here off. And actually, I think I'm going to also take the wing off because I did not do that last time, and it's just much easier to get to these screws right here and here if you take the wing off. Or at least the wing mount, I should say, right here. So let's go ahead and get started. I do have my drill, so we can hopefully get through this a little bit faster, at least the disassembly part. So let's see what size we need. We're going to need 2.5s. And this is a 2.5 right here. Hopefully this thing has some juice. I did not plug it in, but so I'm gonna buzz these two right here and here off first. And there we go, one out. This doesn't have much juice, I can tell. And we got 2 out, guys. So I think that'll just make it a little bit easier to lift up on this. To then get to these screws right here, these are all 2.5 as well, guys. So I'm just going to start buzzing them off. This thing's really run out of juice. 1. We got 2, guys. Here's number 3. I might have to start doing this by hand, guys, because this thing literally is out of juice. And there's number 4. So I'm going to actually pop the body off real quick because I do need to actually undo that coupler from the front. The next thing I need to get to, guys, I need to get to this coupler piece right here. So this coupler piece right here, that needs to come undone, and that should have a 2mm grub screw because that actually holds the shaft of the pinion on from the front. Let me see if I can find my 2mm. Got my 2mm right here, guys. And let's see. Put thread lock on it. Hopefully it'll come out. Alright, and we got that grub screw out. I'm going to set that aside. Now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to pop the differential cover off. I think I can probably, I would normally take off these to get the sway bar off, but I'm pretty sure I can just break them loose right at the actual joint, which is probably what I'm going to do. That shouldn't cause any damage. There's 1, and there's 2. So got the sway bar links off, and got the differential cover off, guys. And there we go, guys. Got the differential out. Now the issue is not going to be on the differential side. The issue is actually going to be with the pinion. So here we go, guys. So the pinion is coming out. I'm hoping I can get... There we go. Here's the pinion we're taking out right here, guys. Now what we need to do is get to the shims that I put behind the bearing. So we need to push that bearing out, and the easiest way is probably going to be to come from... Okay, that came out pretty easily, probably because all the shims stacked behind it. So let's go ahead, pull that bearing out, and here's what the issue is, guys. So right here, as you guys can see, I've got about 6 shims stacked on top. Now the issue is the size of these shims. So I had these up against the case, and these shims are right about the same size as the shield of the bearing. So the rubber shield of the bearing, these are resting right up against it. They are not resting up against the outer portion very well. Well, really at all. They're not resting up against the outer race, the metal part, or the inner race, metal part. And so all that pressure is actually being pushed right up against the shield, which you do not want all that pressure up against the shield. This one's actually kind of caked to the side of the shield. So I have run this once. I did make the mistake of running it before I learned this new information to correct my problem. So we will have to see, does it spin smoothly? Let me set these aside. It still seems smooth, so we're good on that front. But yeah, he pointed out that it would cause premature bearing failure, which makes sense because it's pushing right up against the balls of the bearing. So let me pop this last one off. But now we need to find some other shims. The weird thing is these are actually the shims that Arrma included. Now looking at their instructions, I guess this is just for the side-to-side movement. So it shows the diff right there, and here are the shims I'm using right here. And that's just for the side-to-side. It's not for the pinion size. So don't use these 13, I believe they're 13 by 16. Don't use these. Now I have to dig through my Arrma stuff and see if I can find the right size bearings that will go around this pinion shaft. Alright, so looking through the shims that I have, it looks like these are going to be the correct ones to use. These look to be the only size that'll fit pretty snug up against the actual inner race of the bearing. I do have these ones as well, so I'm gonna get these out and see which one's a better fit for the pinion shaft. I'm gonna start off with this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it ripped open. And hopefully I have enough shims here. There are more than 6, and as long as they're the same thickness as the ones I took out, we should be able to get it spaced out the same as we had it before. Here's the pinion right here, guys. So these are the ones that fit probably the snuggest around the bearing, or sorry, around the pinion shaft. So they should also be right up. Let me make sure. These ones, as you guys can see, will also be up against the inner portion of the race. No part of it's going to come in contact. As you guys can see right there with the size of it, it's going to come in contact with the inner race of the bearing, the metal part. It's not going to be pushing up against the shield. So when I space this out, all that pressure is actually going to be put up against the inner race. So that is what we're going to do. I'm going to aim for 6 because, let's see, are they the same thickness roughly as the ones that came out? I mean, they both seem pretty thin, so I'll probably aim for putting 6 in here because I had 6 of these. Kind of hurrying through this, guys. I wasn't planning on making a video, but I thought may as well film this because, like I said, I don't want people making the same mistake as me, so I'm making this video to correct the previous video that I put out there because I don't want people doing it the exact same way as me and then having bearing failures. Now, luckily, my bearing appears to be spinning smoothly. Let me just confirm one more time that they are the same thickness as the ones I took out. They look about the same. Put the pinion shaft through the bearing like such, and then go ahead and slide all 6 of these onto the shaft. That's what she said. Now that we have all 6, you guys can see how it's going to be pressing against the inner race rather than the actual black rubber shield. And now I'm just going to go ahead and attempt to press it back in and see if that's going to be the proper thickness, or the proper spacing I should say. Alright, got that through. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop the diff back in and make sure that there isn't too much play, and we do not want that. Alright, got the differential in, guys, so I'm going to check, what do I have? Got some pliers. I think that's probably going to be good. I don't feel any slop. Yeah, I don't feel any slop, guys, so I think that's good. Now, I'm not going to waste my time showing you guys on camera putting it back together, but it's in place. It does not appear to have any play on this front part of the shaft right here. So I'm not going to worry about showing you guys the reinstall. I just wanted to show you guys what the actual issue was that I was addressing. So if you like this video, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so then you'll be notified when I come out with new videos. Later. Alright guys, I totally forgot to put the coupler piece back on. I always forget to do that when I take the diff out. Took the differential out and I realized once you get the pinion, you can't get this coupler piece back on unless there's some give on the pinion shaft. So that's what I'm doing. So I just had to go and backtrack a little bit.